Welcome to the 11th episode of NPSee, this series that aims to bring the unimportant NPCs from games to light. Let us dive right into the vast province of Cyrodiil in Elder Scrolls IV: Oblivion. This week we wander back to the rich city of Skingrad and into one of the richest homes. To the north side we find the house of Lazare Milvan, an old Breton nobleman that spends all of his time inside. He claims to be a noble knight, but does not have a good reputation in town. When you first approach him, he opens up with,
"You have obviously made a mistake. Sir Lazare Milvan would never speak with someone of your low birth. You are obviously of low birth. Unless you dispute my judgment, and you would press your suit at the end of a sword."
And being justly affronted,
"I'm afraid I cannot. Leave me, and I will spare you."
With that, you are locked out of the conversation.
"You are talking again. You will stop."
Oh, reload. Instead, responding with dignity,
"You contradict me. This conversation is tiresome. Leave me, or draw your sword."
And you are locked out again. No matter how many times you prompt him, he just shuts you down. "Just you wait for me to draw swords, you a-" Unfortunately, he does not permit speechcraft because of his inhibition to talk to Crow. Fortunately for me, I do not have to comb through dialogue in attempts to find fun lines for Crow to say. Around the town, the citizens sometimes comment on Lazare. However, conversation randomness prevented me from getting footage without undue time investment.
No! Without question.
In these conversations, the first NPC remarks on how he challenges people to duels and thinks too highly of himself, to which the other NPC responds that he is moronic and will be taught a lesson one day. It is clear that this individual is misanthropic to say the least, and a massive shut-in. Lazare spends the whole day at home. At 6 a.m. he wakes up. For the whole day until 8 p.m. he wanders his home. At 8 he eats some dinner. And at midnight he tucks himself in. This routine likely means that, even if you've played Oblivion for a long time, you may have never seen him unless you broke into his home for good old thieving. Lazare is a citizen of Skingrad, residing in the northern side of the city. It is a standard Swiss Skingrad home in design. Its grey bricks and vaulted ceiling tower over the street below. It is a prime location, exposed to the calm plaza with the statue of the Cavalier. Too bad he never goes outside to appreciate it. Entering the mansion, it opens to an expansive hall with a roaring fire beyond the living space just ahead, a dining area to the left, and storage to the right. Above, up the stairs, a balcony looks over the scene. The third floor consists of a large living space for Lazare. An expensive bed stands in the center of the room, in front of another warming fireplace. Around the chamber are places to sit, a few valuables to purloin, and a shelf of various swords.
Let's take his prized weapons.
Stop! Thief!
Weight limits.
Stop right there, criminal scum!
Now, let us descend into the basement. It is a standard affair used for storage as you would expect, and otherwise very ordinary. What? What an adorable basement rat! Mousy Milvan is an odd thing. It is docile until you take out your weapon, at which point it attacks. It moves much faster than normal rats, though it's still easy enough to take care of. What a curious little creature. Lazare carries his silver sword, his house key, and a bit of gold. So he does have a sword to draw after all. And draw it he does when you attack him. He fights back with it instead of his fists. He asks for it.
"You sleep rather soundly for a murderer."
He is adorned in all-round verdant green, a green brocade doublet, green silks, and green velvet shoes. Here is a kiss, you loser. This is the first NPC I've found or covered that seemingly only remained inside and does nothing. I can't imagine anyone doing that in the beginning of the pandemic because everything suddenly stopped. Nevertheless, 'tis a unique man and a unique rat in the basement. Let the NPC Lazare Milvan be NPC'en. Thank you for joining me, and
Subscribe!
"You are talking again. You will stop."